Hey, welcome to the SOOF podcast, aka the Shaping Our Own Future podcast. My name is Jeff Delver, and I'm here with my co-host Nelson Constantine. And this is the SOOF podcast.
The next big exit is gonna be the corporate exit. It's already happening, but I don't think there's a name to it. The way our background is set up, the way our upbringing is set up, a lot of us are married to these ideals of traditional culture that we had back at home.
Add us, because it is definitely truly SOOF for us. You know, us is me, us is him, us is black, it's white, it's in us is everybody. So let's take you on a journey. So how did we start SOOF?
Oh man, so we started SOOF back in 2014?
Yeah.
In a warehouse.
Yeah, we started in the warehouse. It was interesting. So we were formed in 2014, but we actually started talking about this in 2013. So, you know, we're young, ambitious college students, and essentially we just wanted to make a difference. So we was trying to come up with different ways on how to do that. And, you know, I mean, it took a lot of countless nights trying to figure out exactly how we want to impact and actually put our fingerprints on the world and actually be part of the movers and shakers of society. And we came up with SOOF for Haiti in a warehouse.
Yeah, so when we came up with SOOF for Haiti, so SOOF stand for Shaping Our Own Future. And it was for Haiti because we were so passionate about the problems back at home. Because I was born in Haiti and I came here in 2002. So I know the struggle. I know hunger from first hands. So when I was in college, it was just like, man, do we want to join another frat?
That's actually what that's actually what it was.
Frat, or we want to do our own thing and make it more impactful. It is something that could be a legacy piece and we can have. And I remember telling you like, yo, this is something we can have. As we get bigger, SOOF will get bigger. So SOOF was never to be like the main focal point of our life. It was something that we want to do it as a philanthropic type of project, but it took
so we took quite a lot of hits. So we started with the idea like, okay, we want to go to Haiti and we want to build huge computer centers and libraries and have it all technical and, you know, really kind of start a technocratic society kind of in Haiti in schools. So, you know, we actually thought about this. We did our market study, and the idea was if we bring technology to these schools, essentially these schools could charge more in tuition. You know, the prestige of these schools, they go up because now they have a lot of things that these other schools don't offer. But in the midst of that, we ran into a lot of obstacles and roadblocks. First, we have to be legal in America, and then you have to have a legalization process in Haiti. And
we did that.
But that's pretty difficult to do because it's kind of hard to get a standard concrete answer from anywhere. So,
Sure.
You know, it took us probably like 6 months to actually get that process done. So yeah, we got that part done, but the other part, I guess, we didn't think through as, you know, young, ambitious college students is, okay, where's this money coming from?
Where's money coming from?
Because we've put it out there now that, hey, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, but we did not know where the funds were coming from. And we're at a standstill until my man right here got us in contact with our alma mater, FIU, and what happened?
So when we reached out to FIU and we told them the vision that we had and we told them the plan, and you know, by that time we had all our paperwork set already. So when we sat down with like a controller at their surplus office, and we requested for to computers, laptops, and everything, and we sent in the request and they approved it. So we were sitting on over 50 computers.
Yeah, so this was in 2016, I remember. So We go and pick up these computers. It's me, Nelson, and our director, John. We go and we're picking these up in the morning. We're excited and we're like, yo, we really about to do it. We got about 50 computers. We had projectors, tablets, the whole nine. We go home and turn on those computers and they don't have no hard drive.
Another setback.
They don't have no hard drive. So that's another setback. And, you know, thankfully, one of the guys on our team, Jeff, who's very tech savvy, he understands that stuff. You know, he starts digging into it and is like, yo, you guys are going to need hard drives. You know, on top of hard drives, there might be a few other miscellaneous things you're going to need for different computers. So that was another roadblock. And then, you know, you couple that with personal stuff we got going on in our lives. Because like we said, SOOF was never meant to be the focal point. It was just supposed to be a how you say the word? Philanthropic avenue of our lives. You know, I mean, we're young at the time, we're chasing careers, you know, all type of stuff. And here we have another roadblock.
True.
So it's just been roadblock after roadblock.
Yeah, and the hardest part was us moving apart. It came from us living like 5 minutes apart to now
10 hours.
You moved to another state. John moved all the way to like 2 hours away from me. And Austin moved. So it became, we were so accessible to each other. Now we're not accessible. And then we still have this SOOF project. And I think at our lowest point, we wanted to stop and we wanted to just like kind of quit. But we do have good stories though. We made it to 2 or 3 mission trips to Haiti.
Yeah.
So we do have good stories where in 2016, when the hurricane came, we were able to be like one of the first respondents in Haiti with organizations like the Mandodo and all these different types of Haitian organizations that came together. So we went out there, and then last year we was able to do our own back to school drive in Haiti, where we send over 100 kids to school. So we paid for some of the tuitions. We gave them backpacks. And all the tools that they needed, pencils, pen, backpacks. And shout out to Liz too, she supported. Shout out to Mark. Those were our big contributors. So we did that in Haiti. So as much as we had downfalls in terms of the overall goal that we had, but we also had success. And I think for us, when we envisioned and when we sat down to Haiti, and this is what it's still in the same mindset that we are progressing. When we sat down, we wanted Haiti to be like the next India. Like if you guys know about India, man, they control the computer market. If you want some tech support, it's coming out of India. You press 1 for English. You already know what's coming. So when we sat down, it was like, yo, how can we make the people back home compete on the international market? Because as well, you guys might not know, for the people that have, like, let's say, studied into Haiti, you know that they have the lowest
computer
literacy and job unemployment.
Yeah.
So we wanted to help with that, because imagine if we teach someone how to use computers, how to code computers, how to break them down and build it back up, and you have all this different understanding of computers and how to interact with technology. Now you're independent. Now you can get a job all over the world remotely. And that was one of the vision. And this is why we still not giving up on that vision, because it is very much possible.
Yeah, it's very much possible, and it's very, you know, dear to our hearts and what we wanted to do. So, you know, it wasn't a pie in the sky idea, you know. We spent, late hours, 3 a.m., 4 a.m.
A lot of car wash.
A lot of car washes we did, because we really believed in this thing, and we still do. But, you know, you mentioned that, and then, you know, last year we had our first annual Thanksgiving turkey giveaway. And the reason why we did that was because, you know, there's been a lot of people in America, in this community, supporting us to help us do what we're trying to do over there. And we had to give back to them. It's only right that you do so.
I'm going to take 30 seconds, right? I'm going to take 30 seconds of this episode to say, hey, man, to all our friends and family, we apologize.
Hey, it is what it
We
is.
apologize.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, when we start talking about first wave of help, that was our families and friends, right?
Yeah,
Like any
I'm pretty
project
sure
that we have,
some of them got tired of like sending that text. Yo, we got a car wash, we got this. So, like he said, I want to piggyback off that from the bottom of our hearts. We generally want to thank you. We love you. Thank you so much for the support. I mean, you've made a lot of things possible. Even with our first turkey giveaway last year, we're very happy to see people actually come through and actually, some people didn't even think they were going to have a turkey for Thanksgiving. Some people came and got them, and we're very excited about that. We're just young men trying to make a difference. I'm 26. You
still.
okay? He ain't saying his age, but it's all.
I'm 28, by the way. I'm 28, not that old.
Yeah. So so we're just trying to make a difference and really give back, and that's where we want to make the distinction. So we don't want people to think, hey, we're just focused in Haiti. That's not the only focus.
True.
Us being young Haitian men, it was an honor for us to add that Haiti piece to the name of our organization.
Talk about it.
But truthfully, what we were doing is we were trying to make an impact amongst minorities anywhere and everywhere, period. Don't matter where it was. It was just that Haitian pride that said, yo, we have to put Haiti in there, shaping our own future for Haiti, breathing life into the future. But ultimately, we're trying to make change everywhere. And that's why recently we've decided to drop the Haiti and add us, because it is definitely truly SOOF for us. Us is me, us is him, us is black, it's white, it's in us is everybody. We don't want to take away from the fact that we're trying to affect and have positive impact on all communities.
True that. And it goes back to the name that we picked. It was from the beginning, it was shaping our own future. So what it meant at the time for us, it was that nothing was being given to us. Anything that we had, anything that we got at the time, we earned. And that's something that we learned very much early. It was like, yo, if we're going to do something, we have to earn it. We have to put in the work. So it was like shaping our own future, and shaping our own future for Haiti, the envision that we want to see for Haiti, but it still remained shaping our own future, not going to, let's say, a traditional route as going into the frat route or joining different clubs that
we have nothing against frats, by the way. I have great friends that are in frats.
That we could have done, and we could have followed that path. But because we wanted to shape and we wanted to mold our own future with the experience that we wanted to have. And that's what we stand upon. So if we can bring that to the next us, to the next generation for us, I think it would be, I know it will be a great, great impact in our community. Because right now, men that look like us, people that look like us or that come from the same background, the same undeserving communities, the same underprivileged communities, they are needing of those type of enlightenments, those type of education and support that we know we're going to bring to them. The same way when we was working in a warehouse, we was working with guys in a warehouse, but for us, we know we was passing. This is like another stepping stone for us. But for a lot of these guys, they just saw the warehouse. And if we can now go back with the evidence and saying, hey, I've been to to the other side. I'm not going to say the mountaintop because we still not at the apex of our in our career. But I've been to the other side where you can take the other route and not just the street route and not just like, I'm just going to work this the rest of my life route. And there is the result. There is the things that you want on the other side, but you have to put in the work. And I think if we can show that to the black and brown community, to the underprivileged community, man.
So I think it's interesting that you brought that up, being that I'm a man who works in finance, you in healthcare analytics. So this is what we're going towards. So what is SOOF doing next in terms of what are we trying to enlighten? What are we trying to show the next generation in terms of finance, tech, and analytics and all that stuff?
Guess what? We are pushing for minorities in tech, minorities and data-driven jobs.
Yeah. So it's still, as you can see, the same vision that we had for Haiti in terms
Still
of,
same goal.
yeah, bringing that tech savvy and all that tech to them is what we're trying to do now is for generations across the globe. I mean, like he said, black and brown communities, underserved and underprivileged. We really want to detail the importance of working in tech, analytics, and finance.
Because in 2016, Apple had 9% of their whole entire body of employees. 9% was black.
So being immigrants, being children of immigrants, one thing that we know is if you're an immigrant, the three major career paths that they tell you about, they say, hey, you either gonna be a doctor, a lawyer, or engineer, or when we talk about the black community, is sports. So unfortunately, all of us don't fall in that category.
Nope.
Not all of us want to do that. So what happens to the rest of us that we don't want to deal with blood, we don't want to deal with the law, and we don't want to be an engineer, and we're not athletic? So how do we put ourselves in a position to truly not only be valuable to a company, but ultimately we all work because we want to make money.
True.
That's what it comes down to. So based on those stats that he just repeated, why is it that a lot of minorities, why are we not in these tech positions? Why are we not pursuing these things?
A lot of it has to be awareness. We are not aware of data jobs. We are not aware of software development at an early age. We just not preview the way our background is set up, the way our upbringing is set up. A lot of us are married to these ideals of the traditional culture that we had back at home. And a lot of it doesn't transcend or it doesn't translate well in this new world that we in. So for us now, I'm super excited, man, to bring forth and to raise the awareness of like career, technical careers, man, and the amount and the impact, the salary, the things that you can be, that you are able to do, especially in tech, because you're bringing about a new world.
Yeah.
And right now, the demand for data job is at an all-time high. And let me tell you, that's not even an industry secret anymore.
It's not.
All right. So when you go to a company, you know, a lot of time when you go into a company, you have this mindset of moving up into the ladder. You want to do the supervisor rank, manager rank, director rank, AVP, whatever all the ranks are. But a lot of times, the people that's making the most money in the company are the people who are working in data, who are working in the IT department. You can look that up.
Yeah, and to piggyback on what he's saying is, I think a lot of us, so going back to the warehouse we were talking about, where we understood that we were just passing through, where some of these other guys, it was like, yo, this is it for me. I mean, you know how sad of a dire situation it is to be at 2021 to saying, yo, it's either this or the streets. That's scary. And you know, sometimes we might think like, yo, we have to go to college route. But the thing about tech, what's interesting is it's a skill. If you know it, you know it.
You know it.
If you can build apps and you can do whatever it is you got to do in tech and analytics, nobody's going to check you and say, hey, what's your degree? Where did you graduate from? So what we're trying to tell you is we're trying to offer you information and put you in position so you can understand that it's not about getting a degree. Because as you can see now, as of late, college degrees have been coming under great fire. You know, people are saying it's scam, it's not worth it. I mean, you're paying more than you're actually gonna be making. And you know, to a certain extent, a lot of that is true. So for those of us who can't afford college, who don't want to go to college, but we still want to be able to make great money, what is a great career choice? What is a great path?
And you said that, and I'm gonna say this: the next big exit is gonna be the corporate exit. It's already happening, but I don't think there's a name to it. There's Brexit, all these different exit. The next big exit is gonna be the corporate exit, and I think that's why you see the rise of entrepreneurship, the rise of all these different schemes to build a pyramid. We're not gonna call them pyramid schemes, but they different schemes to build a pyramid.
Yeah.
All right. So we gonna
Yeah.
so the rise of all these different, strategies to get money is because of that corporate that
corporate
that
exodus.
bitter taste of corporate. So I think in the next probably 5-10 years we're gonna see it more, because as more millennials want to be their own boss, they want to work their own hours. That's the language of the millennials right now. So that is coming.
Oh no, it's definitely coming. The corporate exodus is coming. I mean, we could already see it happening before our eyes. I mean, I think anybody with social media, you could turn on and see, everybody you went to school with, they a business owner now. And like you said, we're not gonna call it a pyramid scheme. It's
a new scheme to build a pyramid.
And one thing I want to emphasize: there's nothing wrong with quote unquote working in a pyramid scheme. I think the proper term for it is multi-level marketing. And if you're a good salesperson and you can truly market, by all means necessary, go ahead and develop a scheme to build your own pyramid and get what you got to get.
True that.
But this was the first episode. We're happy that you tuned in. We'll have much more coming. And we're just trying to shape our own future and breathe life into the future. It was a pleasure talking to you, my brother. I look forward to episode 2.
Episode 2.
And we'll see y'all on episode 2. Peace.
Peace.